Hello folks, Reverend Crystal Cox here, and I want to talk to you about sacred living in every day. You know, oftentimes we're on survival and we're just barely making it through the day, and we think that all of this is real and it matters, and of course it does, because we need to pay the bills and we need to feed our children, and we have to live a certain way. The thing is that if you stay in constant contact with spirit and living your life in a way that feels like your bliss, so you feel almost like high, you feel euphoric, you feel this energy run through you, and you know that is what you're supposed to be doing. And you can work with spirit, with angels on every aspect of your life. And nothing is off limits. Money, jobs, contracts, kids, relationships, health stuff, all of it is something you can communicate with spirit about. A lot of people think they can't talk to spirit or angels about, money, about things that they think are mundane. Really, every moment should be sacred. And a lot of people separate. They're like, okay, we work here and then we go to church on Sunday or whatever, and they might read the Bible every day or whatever, but having a constant connection with spirit is something different, where you're in constant prayer, basically. My life is a walking prayer. I'm always talking to angels. I'm always talking to spirit. I pray pretty much every hour. I am always in that mode of trying to listen to direction, trying to pay attention to signs, trying to look for information to be a better me. And I've had a real challenge here on earth, learning emotions and trying to create a better way for myself to learn to just be content and just keep moving, and to realize the sacredness of everyday life. That it doesn't have to be dramatic, and that something incredible doesn't have to happen every day, every year, to just move through, to find joy where you can, to be content. And I've just spent, a massive amount of time on pretty much on bodies of water and in mountains and, by the water usually, but in nature, and just in prayer, and just kind of holding a frequency of light, holding a vibration. And if there's nothing else that we can do, we can hold the frequency, and we can hold the vibration of light and healing. And staying in constant prayer, you are raising the consciousness of Mother Earth and her people, because you are constantly in tune to spirit. You're constantly looking for people that you can help, that you can heal, and good things that you can do, and you're trusting that spirit will lead you in these directions. We are on a planet of free will. So you have to let spirit know what you're available for, what you want, how you want it. A lot of times people think, well, I can't talk to spirit that way, or just say what I want. I've studied a lot of stuff about, an example of ordering a cheeseburger. That people will sit down and they'll order a cheeseburger, they'll have a certain kind of cheese, they'll order it a certain way, and they'll expect it to come out of the kitchen that way. That you can treat your connection to spirit that way, angels, your higher self. You say, this is how I want this to happen. And once you're direct and clear, and the more emotion you have, you think of emotion as like the gas that magnifies your wishes. And if you visualize it, even more so, you're creating it. You're basically telling your body it's kind of already happened. Your body takes things literally. So, when you're worrying about stuff all the time, your body's like thinking it's happening, even though it's some future event, and so it's creating it. Your thoughts are constantly creating a future event, which, is hard for us to take because we don't want to monitor our thoughts all the time. But the thing is the more time you can spend consciously thinking about the things that you want to be thinking about, instead of worrying about who doesn't love you, or how the money's not going to be there, or what bills you do have. You're creating more things along the lines of what you're thinking, versus if you think about, maybe you only got $1 that day. Well, think about the $1 that you got instead of the $4,000 that you might owe. And think about love and gratitude that you got, instead of someone that doesn't love you or doesn't want to be with you, or pining away for someone that, isn't really wanting to be in that energy with you. You end up kind of spinning your wheels and putting an energy out there. And then you kind of also become addicted to that energy too. You're like, this is my way of life, and how do I change that pattern? I feel like I love this person, I don't feel like they love me, and you're constantly spinning in this cycle of a relationship with a human being, and you're outside of your relationship with spirit, and you're also creating that reality in that scenario. So for me, it's to strive more and more to be present with spirit every day in every moment. It doesn't matter what I'm doing, if I'm cooking, if I'm shoveling the sidewalk, if I'm walking down the street, whatever I'm doing, that I'm doing it in connection with spirit, so that I know it is of my highest potential, my highest vibration, and that I'm doing it of a high vibrating energy. And when I fall and I get depressed and I get down and I get feeling lonely or inadequate, or all the things that happens to humans, if I can just get out quicker every time. Sometimes you go into depression for days. If you can just, if you usually go in for 3 days, maybe next time 2 days. The point is to not beat yourself up over the last time you did it and create the next time. Okay, so staying in constant prayer and constant what you want from spirit and in gratitude. And, we get very distracted by busy lives, taking kids here and there and trying to create money and retirement funds and getting food and blah, blah, blah. Every single one of these things can be a spiritual ritual. Your smile is the best sermon that you have. Smiling at a stranger, smiling at the other soccer moms, smile at the guys, when you're at work of just, some people get weirded out at smiles, but I find most of the time people just light up. They love that you acknowledge them, they love that you look at them, they love that you're smiling, and so everything you do every day can be spiritual. It doesn't need to be survival, and then spiritual time separate. Okay? When you go to the bathroom, if you're at work all day, you have bathroom breaks. You have, some moments of time to and from work. You have time where you can pray and you can connect to spirit and you can try to create your life being the reality that you want. Anyway, I just wanted to visit with you folks about this because I've talked to several people this week in my spiritual counseling about how they say they want to be more spiritual. But if you're spiritual 24/7, if you're connected to spirit and you're connected to yourself and true to yourself, trust your gut and be true to that, then that's a really good start, and that's actually really all of it right there. It's not between you and any other human being, it's between you and spirit. Anyway, God bless you all.